Hi, I'm Supermoon Tarot, and today we are doing a mid-monthly love reading for Aries. Hey Aries, I don't know what it is today, but I just feel like drawn to your sign. I don't know what it is, but I just feel drawn to it, so I just wanted to say that. Anyways, this is for entertainment purposes only. If the messages I have to deliver today resonate with you, awesome. If not, let it fly. I'll see you in the next one. Either way, feel free to enjoy the good vibes I'm sending your way. So let's look up what's going on energy-wise, some context. We've got the Hangman upright, Hierophant upright, ooh, and Five of Cups upright. Okay, we've got a Neptune thing going on with the Hangman over here. I am connecting to a Taurus and a Scorpio, specifically somewhere in their birth charts. We're talking about Sun and Moon rising. But, okay, so this is really interesting. I feel like you are totally discovering a new version of yourself, which is really cool. You're suddenly waking up at this time period and you're like, especially if you're in a relationship, but this is also a matter of perspective change. If you are single, this is like your viewpoint going forward in relationships. It's more like a personal epiphany. But either way, I see you starting to be like, you know what? I am feeling bogged down by the day-to-day grind that it can feel like and become in a relationship. Now, I do want to clarify, and I have to pull more cards. I'm not getting like a breakup vibe if you are in a relationship. Not at all. That's not the vibe I'm getting. It's not like you're disinterested in them or anything like that. It's more just like sometimes we like that feeling of someone, you know, texting us and asking about our day or having a sort of schedule where you kind of work together. But sometimes, and for many of us, you start to be like, I don't know, I'm feeling bogged down. I don't feel excited anymore, or I don't feel like I feel confined by it. It's starting to bore me. It's starting to bring me down. I can tell you're starting to almost withdraw a little bit when you're not in the couple situation and kind of have a sense of like anxiety and sadness at the anticipation of already knowing what you're going to have to do next. Now, that gets repeated again. Like I said, the Hangman is ruled by Neptune, which is a sense of obligation. That's what it's becoming. That's what it feels like, this way of approaching the relationship. It's all the rules, you know, the unspoken rules, so to speak. But it also talks about the conscious and subconscious mind linking up. You know, this is something you've been wanting under the underskirt bellies, but you weren't able to put it into words until now. And you're like, wait a minute. And so there's a happiness factor of being like, this is what I want. I don't want this. This is bumming me out. I would like to not continue this way of approaching the relationship right now. Now, with the Hierophant especially not being in reverse, I don't get a vibe you want an unconventional relationship. You can totally be, especially if that's what you want, a monogamous, happy relationship. It's just that you just don't want to always feel like you have to explain yourself to your partner and vice versa them to you. You want a little bit of fun and passion by not knowing and feeling like you're still dating by not knowing what they're going to do next and vice versa, if that's made clear. Okay, so let's pull some more cards for context. Three of Wands upright, Seven of Wands upright, and Three of Cups in reverse. Yeah, you definitely do not want to break up with this person. This is, I'm talking specifically for couples. So let's start off here with the Three of Wands. This sense of epiphany is realizing in the current kind of more constrained sort of relationship you're in right now, you don't feel like you're growing, and there's just like the strongest desire and excitement that kind of popped in you out of nowhere. It's just like all of a sudden you're fire lit and you were like, you know what? I want to explore. I want to have fun. And that's where this sense of growth and inner expansion, and just like feeling like your world feels bigger, the path in front of you isn't so straight and narrow, comes from a sense of adventure and being caught off guard by your partner. I can see here in the Seven of Wands. You really want them to kind of like pop up to your house and just be like, hey, you want to go for breakfast? You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what's going to happen next. Again, it's not about not spending time with them. You just don't want to feel like, hey, every Friday we get a pizza and watch a movie. I personally think that's a fun time, but right now that's not the position you want to be in. You want to feel like life is limitless and full of potential, and you want to share that with your partner. I repeat that, and this also goes for single people too. This is like when you're out there looking for people, you're going to especially be drawn to people during this time period who are going to give you improvisational like, hey, you want to go out and do this? Especially if you thought you were like, maybe you're done class and you're heading home and someone just catches you off guard and is like, hey, we're going to go see this like band in someone's basement. Do you want to come? You know what I mean? That kind of vibe. You want to feel like you think you're going one way and you're pulled another. You want that sense of being jostled up in a really positive way. Now over here, we got two things going on with Three of Cups. For couples, I will note, I see someone trying to pop into the relationship. I don't mean in a romantic sense. I don't see anyone trying to take your partner from you and vice versa, you being interested in anyone else. This is just like a friend that's hanging out a little too much and isn't getting the message. And I think that's also adding to the sense of feeling bogged down. Like, they think they can, they too are picking up on your very constrained, traditional, bout schedule, kind of almost seeing you as like their subconscious, like, reliable couple. I don't want to say mom and dad figure. That's pushing it a little deep. I don't think it's that at all. But they're not realizing that, oh, go figure, you would like to have some alone time and your own personal adventures and romantic time period and all that jazz. And this is definitely something where you're going to have to step in and be like, okay, you're going to need to leave now. It's time for bed. Bye. Mommy and daddy need alone time. Just kidding. But the other thing going on here is this is a representation of independence, feeling alone. And over here, you can see that you are fighting for to prevent that. So I'm going to pull some more cards, but I do get a concern from you that you're worried if you tell your partner about this, that they might take it the wrong way and think that this is something negative. I can see you clearly really still want to be with them, but there is a concern about that. And for people who are single, I can tell you're still very interested in being with someone. Like I said, this is about having a lot of freedom and excitement and not having to explain yourself, but you for sure want to be connected and share that with someone. So let's pull some more cards. Okay, we've got Ace of Wands in reverse, Six of Wands in reverse. Oh, there you are, Emperor. The Emperor in reverse. Okay, good news. Do not expect a drastically positive response from your partner, but do not expect a negative one. In this case, when you go to your partner, and you're gonna do it, you have to do it, or it will get completely misinterpreted. And when the previous cards we were just talking about under here, you will be fighting off loneliness because they're gonna start to sense something's wrong in the relationship. Definitely do not explain the things that you want. But I don't see that being an issue in here, so I ignore what I'm saying. You're good to go. But anyways, when you go to your partner and go, listen, this is kind of how I feel like the relationship's going, this is what I want, da-da-da-da. And the same goes for single people when you're kind of like getting to know people. Be like, this is what I want out of life. Just expect that this is going to be like a little beautiful seed that's planted. It's just starting to sprout. They're warming up to the idea. But, they're not overnight like gung-ho, like, oh, yeah, you don't want to talk to me as much and you don't want to tell me where you are all the time? Cool! Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's going to take them a second to understand your perspective. Now, I am getting some immediate advice here from Tarot and Spirit that after you kind of are like, yo, what's up? Like, this is what I'm feeling and what I would like and da 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 da, and they're like, okay. You want to definitely reassure them, but also for yourself, like some private time to just have fun. So this means nobody else in the friend group. I would definitely suggest a quieter setting. You can go out in public, but it's got to be just the two of you. You want to show them that this is not an inkling, because this is the major concern for them. Is this the beginning of the end? Like, are they slowly becoming disinterested in me? This is another way you can view the Ace of Wands in reverse. Am I not good enough anymore? Are they trying to break it off to me easy? And by you celebrating time with them and showing them that it can be even more fun than it was before, and show them by example what you mean by that sense of adventure and fun and pulling out of those constraints, you're gonna have like a lot of, basically you're gonna have a good time by the end of this month together. You're gonna have like a really nice, cute, romantic time period together. But this is like your way of reassuring them and kind of giving them by example. But also, you need to discover yourself what it means by example, and you can again share that with them. Now, I do want to give you a bit of a, I don't want to say warning, but just something to be aware of that I hope, it's always hard to deliver this type of information. Okay, so in the beginning we talked about this feeling of being constrained, right? But sometimes we don't know it, but we did it to ourselves. So with the Emperor being here and these two cards, like this sense of, well, I'll just say the Emperor facing this card and vice versa. There is, you should be aware that you might have, without knowing it, kind of put yourself in the position you were in the first place, where you started to, out of love, want to know where your other person was, and you accidentally, I don't want to say controlling, because I think that in this case in particular is way too strong of a word, but take what I'm saying as a grain of salt. And you might accidentally, in wanting your partner to feel reassured, want everything to feel like perfect and be like, don't worry, I've got it, I'll go make the adventure happen, because, the other person isn't responding as quick as you'd like, because again, the seed's just been planted. Don't bring any sort of vibe like that into the situation. Let me just pull an oracle card to see if oracle card has any, response to this, or advice or energies or anything like that. Oh, Wizard of Awareness. This is a wicked card I do not get often enough. Really good one. So yeah, it's repeating exactly what I just said. It pretty much is just saying that you need to take more of an observer's perspective, that you're going to find a lot of, if that isn't good news, this crystal is like good for like money and positivity and like good vibes and stuff like that. Whenever a crystal like shakes when I'm doing tarot, it's always like one crystal, and coincidentally always seems to be like in proportionate to the spread. So I think that's really fun and cool. That's a really positive sign. Anyways, you need to just kind of like back up a little bit. It doesn't mean you can't still be that very like powerful personality that you are, but you do need to understand that you need to give the other person space, and you'll learn more, and vice versa, they'll learn more from you by just kind of allowing things to be and more act by observing rather than actual action. I know that's kind of a hard pill to swallow, especially when I see the Emperor in reverse popping up right now, but you'll be fine. You know what to do. This is a really positive epiphany for yourself, and should only be like we should rejoice. Like, this is a great thing. So I think there's a lot of cool things coming ahead for you, and I'm really excited for you. If you enjoyed this reading as much as I did, please give it a like and subscribe. It helps out like you would not believe. Just do a little click. Either way, I hope you have a beautiful day. I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye!